Welcome back to Speak Up Queen, the podcast where we uplift, empower, and celebrate women who have reclaimed their voices to inspire others. Today, we are honored to welcome the incredible Vitelle Webb, an award winning actress, model, mother, author, and humanitarian. Vitelle is a true testament to triumph, a woman whose story is being used by God to inspire and uplift others. In this episode, Vitelle will share the moment she decided to take charge of her life and begin her healing journey. A proud milestone during her journey that exemplifies her resilience, what thriving means to her, and how she embraces it in her daily life. How she stays grounded when faced with challenges compared to before. Her heartfelt advice for women who feel voiceless or unseen. Vitelli's story is one of strength, faith, and determination, a shining example of what it means to rise above adversity and thrive. Her journey will leave you feeling inspired, empowered, and ready to take charge of your own story. So, without further ado, let's welcome Vitelle Webb to speak up with.
Hello, thank you so much. That was a beautiful introduction, and I love your accent.
Oh, thank you. It's not Australian, it's South African, but I'm living in Australia. That is,
Oh, nice.
yeah,
Nice. I was wondering where that was from. It's beautiful.
thank you. So let's start. What was the moment that made you decide to take charge of your life and start your healing journey?
I don't really have a specific moment, honestly. And I tell people every time they ask this question, it's like there's a lot of moments that make up um you start the journey at some point, but you fall off the bandwagon a lot and you have to keep getting back on the journey. So, um, a lot of times people make the mistake of thinking that the journey just starts when you decide, and then from then on out, it's just an uphill climb. But no, it's really more like a roller coaster, up and down, getting on and off. So there's a lot of mini moments that it consists of, and a lot of reminders that we often need to remind us of why we're on this journey in the first place. So, I think with my story is I've been through a lot of trauma. So I have a lot of those moments in which I just was going through too much, hitting rock bottom, and realizing that there was no other way to go but up. So every time I have hit those moments in my life, I've just made the decision to, that that's all I can do is just get up out of this rut and keep climbing, keep pressing forward. As long as I'm still alive, I still have a purpose. And so I'm going to continue to have those moments, and life is never going to be absolutely perfect and easy. But every time it does, kind of kick me a little bit, then I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm down here right now. Time to get back up and start all over again. So,
Isn't it wonderful? Always see myself when I fall down,
yeah.
it's time I'm on my knees, so I need to pray, first of all. And then
Right.
when you're on your knees, you also see some dust that is on this eye level that needs like,
Mhm.
oh, this dusting. I need to fix these boundaries that I'm lacking, all these limiting
I
beliefs.
love that.
While I'm on the ground, I'm praying and I'm
Yeah.
also seeing the things. And then I'm like,
Right.
and let's just dust it all off.
Exactly. Exactly. I love that visual. I'm a visual person, so I always give examples like that when I'm trying to show you, paint the picture for you. So I love that.
Can you describe a time when you felt truly proud of yourself during this journey?
Oh, I mean, that's another one of those questions that there was many times. There's been a lot of times, but I will say one in particular that stands out because I'm holding my book right now. So I was really proud of myself when I decided to go ahead and publish this book. So it was not an easy journey, and even this in itself was like a 10-year process of going back and forth and journaling and knowing that I'm going to eventually publish this into a book, but also being afraid of what people are going to think and people are going to judge and all these things that really stop us all the time from doing what we know we're called to do and what our purpose is. And so when I finally went ahead and pushed the button and said, bam, published, it's done, there's no turning back now, cat's out of the bag. But there was that sense of fear, but there was also a very, very good sense of pride. And I'm really proud of myself that I did this, I'm doing this, and I got to keep pressing forward. So that was a big moment for me.
Now, I am so proud of you, and I just congratulations. I am,
Thank
so
you.
it is, yeah, it is, it's taking time to do those hard things and write it down.
Yeah.
So I'm very proud of
Hmm.
you, and yes, oh, that's just amazing. Ooh.
Thank
What does
you.
thriving mean to you, and how have you embraced it in your life?
Say it one more time. It kind of cut out a little bit.
What does thriving mean to you, and how have you embraced it in your life?
Thriving, yes. So, thriving is everything right now. That's actually a running, reoccurring theme at this moment, even with my church family. Shout out to Rock City. That's one of the themes for this coming year is, we're thriving. So, it for me personally, it was a transition because I'm a survivor and always have been. And so I've always seen myself as someone who continues to survive. So that mindset shift for me has just happened within this past year to make to just feel like, you know what, I don't want to just survive anymore. I want to thrive. And that's something bigger and that's something even better and more significant than just surviving. Although surviving has been a good thing and has gotten me through all of this time, now it's to a different level. It's like surviving just isn't enough anymore. It's time to thrive. And so for me, that really means, leveling up and doing things unafraid, like just, whether you're scared or not, you do it anyway. You take the risk, you take the chances, you don't settle, and things are just going to the next level for me. Like I'm just trusting the process so much and knowing that God's, elevating everything that I'm doing or have been doing is going to the next level. So that's what thriving looks like for me.
It is like, I think when we as survivors is just in surviving mode,
Hmm.
it's just this line. But when we start our
Like,
healing, the frequency gets up, and it's your heart is just like getting butterflies, and
right,
you attract so many people, the right people in your life. You attract the
right.
right opportunities in your life, and then it's
Hmm.
like, huh, where was this all along? Where was this
Yeah,
thing
exactly.
all along?
Right. I've just been surviving this whole time. Like this is so much better. So I hate that it took me this long to realize this, but here we are and better late than never.
How do you stay grounded when challenges come up now compared to what it was as when you were just in surviving mode?
These are such good questions. You're making me really use my brain today. Um, how do I stay grounded now compared to when I was just in survival mode? Hmm. So I have to think about being in survival mode, staying grounded for me. It just meant keeping my head above water and not drowning. Um, so if I survive, then that's good enough. But now in thriving mode, staying grounded, I'm doing that, but I'm happy while I'm doing it. I'm enjoying life a lot more, taking the moments to take care of myself and spend more time with family. And you know what keeps me grounded is being reminded how short our time is on this earth, and having reached a point in my life where I've lost family members now, and the people, your loved ones, are getting older, they're not going to be here forever. Things like that really put it into perspective. And although those are difficult parts in life, it also can serve to keep you even more grounded because you're reminded, life's too short. Let me live it to the fullest every single day, not make any excuses, not let fear stop me, and just go for it. So yeah, so that's kind of how I do it now. It's just in a happier place. It's not, just survival mode. It's definitely like, wow, I'm not just existing. I am living my best life every single day.
That is so true. I worked in an old age home, and most of those were older people when they were on their deathbed was like, I wish I did more.
Yeah,
I wish I took that chance. And it was
exactly.
like, I don't want to be old and say, I wish I did it. So when an opportunity comes, I'm like grabbing
Right.
it. If it doesn't work,
Yeah.
then it's okay. It's the same as healing
Mhm.
resources. I have tried mindfulness, I've tried affirmations, journaling. There is so many things out there for us to be able to heal, but we don't need to
Right.
do it all. We can say,
Right.
let's just try this today. If it doesn't work,
Mhm.
I've tried it. Like I said to tell my son, just try it. Then you can
Right.
tell yourself, I've tried it. I didn't like it or
Mhm.
it didn't work, but at least something that I can tick off my bucket list or
Right.
I've done it.
Yeah. I
Um,
was literally just telling my son this the other day. I'm like, literally the only way you can fail is if you don't try at all. Like, if you try, even if it seems like you failed, like you tried it. So that's not really failing. That's making an attempt. And you can either make another attempt or choose another route. Like, there's really no way to fail as long as you try.
and for me is I like failing because
Hmm.
when I'm failing, I'm learning
Learning.
new things. So it is,
Right. Right.
I need to fail. I
Hmm.
need to make mistakes in my life because that's the only thing
Exactly.
we're going to learn if we are making mistakes. Um,
Yep.
yeah, it's just what
Exactly. I've heard it called failing upwards. I love that. I love that saying.
that
Failing upwards. Hmm.
I like that saying. What is one piece of advice you would give to someone who feels voiceless and unseen?
Hmm. Wow. Well, I talk about that all the time, because I think a lot of us, I think we all have our moments when we feel that way, when we're going through our life's journey, and especially when we're experiencing the hard times, we can often feel voiceless and unseen and like we're going through it alone. So it's so important just to remember that you're not alone, that so many other people are going through this. And I think that's also why it's so important that people like myself and people who have the gifts and talents and abilities to speak, and share their testimony. Like, we have to continue to share our testimony so that more people know that they're not alone. So there should always be an example of someone that you can look at and say, okay, that person went through this too, or they went through something similar, or maybe you feel like they went through something worse, and if they can do it, then you can too. There are billions of people on the planet, and even more that have existed throughout time, and they've all gone through something. So you're never alone, and if nothing else, God always knows what you're going through because he's right there with you all the time. So that sometimes was the only thing that I could really hold on to, was my faith, because I have been in some predicaments where I'm like, there is no way in the world anyone has gone through like just the stuff, but and then there are people who can relate in a lot of ways, but at the same time, I've always known God knows if nobody else does. So you have to have some faith.
Absolutely. I still remember when I was going through my things when I was a child, Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd. That was the verse
Hmm.
that I read every day, all day.
Yes.
And that was the only verse that I read in the Bible. Nothing else, but
Right.
I was clinging on to that. The Lord is my shepherd. That was all.
Hmm.
It really helped me through my young, young childhood to get through.
Right. Right.
So we have to have faith, knowing that,
Exactly.
and not knowing, and just knowing that we are not alone. Oh my word. It is just amazing
Right.
with Speak Up Queen. It's like every woman who's sharing their story is like,
Exactly.
you are not alone.
Yeah.
There is one
It's a
woman,
sigh of relief.
yes, if there is just, I said to one of my other ladies that I've interviewed, I wish my 17-year-old could have like a Spotify and we could listen to these words and these stories of women. I think it
Right.
would have, not that I would change anything in my journey because my journey is, I just want to
Yeah.
do it all over again because it taught me so much about myself and learning myself. So
Right.
I also wanted to ask
Exactly.
you,
I say that all the time. I'm like, people of this generation do not realize how good they have it, just the resources that are at hand. And like, I didn't even have a cell phone as a teenager. So I could only imagine like just having access, like you said, to those podcasts and just different testimonials and people who can mentor you and walk you through it. And you can see that you're not alone. Like, this is such a unique point in time where you're able to literally see through social media and entertainment that, wow, I really am not alone. There's thousands of people out here going through the same thing. So yeah, that's such a gift to be in this day and time, and people have to really use that wisely.
Especially in these times where everyone are more willing to speak up because generations
Exactly.
before us didn't speak up. It was okay to just put it
Yeah,
under a mat and just pretend everything was okay. Um, and that's
exactly. Yeah. So many people breaking the silence now. I love that.
and the last question. How did connecting with others or finding a supportive community impact your journey?
Um, well, obviously that's very important. I feel like I'm just now on this part of my journey starting to connect with others more. Because I feel like I've finally stepped into my real self and I'm more honest and more, not so much putting on a show. Like, I'm just real, and I'm not afraid to lose people now too. So I had to go through that process and learn that everybody's not for me. I was very much a people pleaser when I first got started, especially first getting started in my career. So, I want everybody to love me. I want everybody, and so you start doing things based on what you think they want to see and what they want you to do, and you end up just not having the good quality of people around you. So once you find your true self and you just start being you, then those people are going to gravitate toward you. You're going to start drawing the right people into your life, and that's when you really start to flourish and benefit from the people who are around you, which is where I am right now. So, I'm building a team now, and people are just coming into my life and being a part of Us Three Productions that really bring quality and value to what we're doing, rather than just people who are just going to be like, yes, whatever you say, you're doing, just cheering you on, and they're not, really for you, or they're just have their motives or reasons that they're there. So that's a process that I had to go through as well. But now that I'm still learning all the time, but now that I've gotten to where I am now with that, that my team is growing to it's just going to a better place all around, and it's so helpful. It's so important, so that you're not feeling alone. And especially, the more that you take on, whether it's a business or a book or a podcast or whatever you're doing, like, a lot of times we carry these heavy loads, and so we need more people to uplift us when that load seems and feels too heavy at that time. So it's so important to have that security system, that support group around you, for sure.
I just love the way you said that you are not afraid of letting people go, of letting them go, because
Mhm.
boundaries is something to protect ourselves, not to protect other
Yes.
people. Um,
Mhm.
and we really attract people when we are setting boundaries and when we are in this frequency. It's like this energy around us, and we are just, I don't know about you, but if I
You're
can
right.
that negative feeling, I don't want to be close to that
Mhm.
anymore. I don't want to be close to
Exactly.
negative Dallas anymore. I'm like, nah, I just want,
Right.
and it's like the light is attracting the light. We are attracting
Mhm.
all of our communities. We are attracting true
That's right.
friendships. And we are, I
Mhm.
think we are just also showing up as our authentic self. I think there is nothing
Right. Exactly.
more I wish these women will know is, after all, if they could just show up and learn how to love themselves and
Mhm.
show up as them, they are so beautifully made.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. I agree. That's the word I was looking for. Your authentic self. I love that.
Well, Natalie, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. It was such an honor. Um, yeah, I hope you have a fabulous day. My day just started. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. So I hope you have a fabulous day and yeah, talk to you soon.
It's 4 a.m. there right now. Oh my gosh. Thank you for your time and being on here so early with me. And the fact that you have this much energy at 4 o'clock in the morning is amazing. I usually get up at 5, or I try to. Can't say I do it every morning, but I attempt to get up at 5 every morning, and I don't have that much energy. So that is amazing. So thank you so much for having me on your show. And I just want to say to all of your listeners, if they would be interested in following and connecting with me, I have a world tour going on right now, some shows that you guys can get tickets to come see me live in person, and as well as my book, of course, and everything can be found at vitelle.net. That's VITELLE.net if you guys would like to follow and support. And I so appreciate you having me on your show and allowing me to speak to all your viewers, and keep up the great work. This is beautiful what you're doing.
Thank you so much.